and MuSINGS Outdoor Channel, and just got a few more days until we're heading off into the mountains to go after some elk. And I know, we all got to bring our knives with us and stuff like that, and have them nice and sharp, which I just got done doing. But I thought it was kind of might be something good to talk about. I'm sure we've all had a favorite knife or one that was passed down that has a lot of meaning to us and stuff like that. So I do have one here. Well, actually, I have two here that I would like to talk about a little bit, and both of them have to do with my dad, who passed away in 2017. But and I can't remember the make of the knives. I think it was like Old Timer or something like that. But you guys remember them, where they had the leather handles, and so this one is actually a remake, because I got to tell you a little story, it actually includes the guy who made this one. So my friend Pete Bradley and another fella who was working at a buffalo ranch close to where he lived years ago. This is probably 30 some years ago, I would think. Anyway, we went up. Had plans to go hunting for elk on the east side of the Hungry Horse Reservoir, over on the west side of the mountains. And actually, you're right in the mountains. But so we get back in there and we're camping, and there was a lot of fires that year. And so there was a lot of smoke and all kinds of restrictions and stuff like that. You had to have a cold camp and all this kind of stuff. So it didn't make it too miserable because the weather wasn't too bad. But we went in there, and we get set up camp, and we were just walking around looking at our area that we picked out, and there was bear scat everywhere. And so we can't have a fire that might help keep them away. We had a kind of a smaller tent, and so the other guy, his name was Shane, he decided to sleep outside, and I was thinking, man, we better sleep with one eye open, because this could get ugly. So, but fortunately, we made it through that night, and without any bears coming into camp or anything. So we head up the trail. That we're going to go up this mountain, and there's kind of there's mountains on both sides, so it's kind of a bowl, sort of. And I just looked at a peak that was close by, and it was like 8,700 feet. So, and we're down towards the reservoir, so it's a long ways up there. It's probably 3,000 feet at about I don't know, 60-degree angle. Anyway, so we're following this trail, and we get to a spot where we're kind of looking around, and we're thinking, and we start glassing, and we see some elk just on top of the mountain up there, and they are just heading over the top. And so we think, well, we better go, see if we can't get after them. So we start after them, and the mountain just kicked our butt. And where the knife comes in, I had it in a sheath on my hip, and we were going through some buckbrush and stuff like that. And I didn't even know it until we got back, but my knife sheath must have got hooked on a twig or something like that, and flipped it upside down and undid the catch that's on these, and it fell out somewhere up on the mountain. And so I was just bummed, because I got that from my dad. And so it just so happens that my buddy Pete is a knife maker, or he was. And so I kind of just drew the shape of that knife out on a piece of paper, and I said, well, if you would, could you make me another one, similar to it? And so he whipped this thing out, and it turned out really nice. This is the 29th knife that he had made. So, and it's super nice. I mean, it fits your hand good, and it's keeps a nice edge, and it's sharp as heck. So, anyway, he made this for me, and I still had the sheath, and without just measuring to see if it'd fit in the sheath, it was just a hair bigger than the old Chief, so I made a new one myself because I used to make saddles and stuff. But um, so that's kind of the story on that old knife. And if you guys have stories like that as well, just put something in the comments or whatever. I have a hard time seeing comments on this because my glasses don't work at this distance worth of darn. So if you guys are commenting, it's hard for me to see them. But if like I say, if you got anything like something like an old knife that your dad passed down to you, or maybe even your grandfather or something like that, and you know what kind of a make and model it was, just put it in the comments. I'd be interested to hear about that. So the other one is also a knife that I got from my dad, and it's a folder, but it makes a pretty darn good skinning knife just because of the shape. And if you can see that it's a Tree Brand Classic, 2000, made of 440C steel. It says Boker, Solingen, Germany, stainless steel. So it's a pretty nice knife with some good steel, as far as I know. I'm not a steel aficionado like some of the guys are that have like Northern Knives. They have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys have heard them. If you follow Chuk or any of those guys, you've probably heard of them. Because I did buy this White River knife, just kind of a little skinning knife from those guys up at Northern Knives, and that's a nice knife, and it's super sharp, and it comes with a little Kydex scabbard for it. You can stick on your belt. And first time I got this thing, I stuck it on my belt, and I was going to be really cool and just whip it out. Well, I had my hand in the wrong spot, and when I whipped it out, I damn near cut my finger off. So lesson learned there. Yeah, be careful. But yeah, these are the three knives that I'm going to be taking hunting. My son's got a passel of knives too, so I'm sure this will be plenty. But that's kind of the story I wanted to tell you guys on these knives. And like I say, if you got something, let me know. If that's if you got some favorite knife or a particular design. I kind of like this one just because of the sweeping blade angle, and it's really good for skinning. I used to skin a lot of coyotes and stuff too, and this would have been pretty nice for that. And it's really light. It's kind of skeletonized. So and that's a White River one again. If you want to check them out, and check out Northern Knives up there, they have a really good selection of a lot of knives, and I just had them ship it to me, and it was, I don't know, it was like $129 or something like that. So, but good knives, good steel. A lot of times they say, buy once, cry once. I think that does matter when it comes to knives, because if they don't keep an edge, they're worthless. They're not worth having. So, and some of them come with such hardened steel that you can't hardly get an edge on them unless you're a professional or you got some kind of grinding equipment or something like that. I've had one of those I bought cheap just because I liked how it looked. And it was supposedly Damascus steel, and I can't get an edge on that thing for nothing. It's the steel is so hard. I suppose if I ever got one on it, it would last forever, but I haven't had much luck. And I'm not super good at it. I actually use one of these to just quickly put an edge on it, especially when you're up there and you just need to sharpen it up while you're skinning or whatever. It's good to have just one of them little knife sharpener things with you. So, but anyway, guys, that's this little kind of a live session here. Trying to see here. Lauren Emmert says hi. Well, how you doing? It's good to see that somebody's on here making a comment. So glad you're in here. And but I just thought I would touch base on knives. I haven't really talked about knives too much for a long time. I think since I got this thing, I did a little kind of a review of it. But the old standbys are nice, and the construction and the design of them are still good and still relevant. And I'm sure I know these are still being made by somebody, but I don't know who. If it's old timer or what, I can't remember. You guys might be able to tell me, but let me know if you know. So, but I'm gonna let you guys go now, and thanks for stopping in. And like I say, I'm gonna be leaving on Thursday to go get down to where my son lives in Missoula. Gonna go down there, stay with him for a night, see the grandkids, and then we're gonna go in, get camp set up, probably do some glassing, see if we can find something so we can be ready to go for opening day. But that's the plan, and hopefully you guys will have good luck if you're heading out this weekend, or maybe where you're at, you're already going. So, but appreciate you stopping in, and we'll hopefully catch you on the mountain and be able to show you a successful hunt. So we'll see. But thanks for stopping in, and we'll catch you later.